guys, it's Shelly here. Welcome to my channel and thank you for joining me today. So on today's video, I'll be sharing with you my top 10 favorite books that were released in 2024 that I bought and added to my collection. So these may be books you may have or you may have missed out on, and I think they are brilliant books to have in your collection. So yeah, I'll just get to it. I did not buy every book that was released in 2024, and there are books that I'm actually keen on getting and I haven't yet got. So these are just the ones that I managed to get and add to my collection. So let's get to it. So there are 10 and maybe 2 honorary mentions because I just couldn't make up my mind and I didn't feel like leaving them out of this list. All right, so let's get started. The first one I want to show you is Karolina Kubikowska's Memories Postcards coloring book, and this is actually a compilation of all her postcards that she's previously published between the years of 2019 and 2020. They went out of stock, so her books are available on Etsy or on decomade.pl, I think, and usually with a lot of artists on Etsy, when their books get sold out, they don't usually republish them. So they weren't republished for a while, but I think there was a lot of demand for it, and they decided to take it out sort of as a book and all compiled together, which is brilliant because I didn't have any of them. So I'm so glad that they did this because I absolutely love these. Now, for those of you who are a little bit hesitant on Karolina's work because of the kind of style of drawings, they are some of them are a little bit creepy, you know, things like that. You may not like the theme of her books, but the postcards are completely different in that they're a little bit more innocent, they're joyful, so her portraits are not always sad like in a lot of her books. Sometimes they are, so it's a totally different feel but in her style, which I absolutely love. And so you get an Easter section. So this first section is Easter, and you can see there's some lovely illustrations, and it's on hard cardstock, which is also brilliant. Now it's only glue bound, so eventually it may actually come off. I have colored one page in this book and the book did not fall apart straight away, so that's brilliant. But I expect that it will fall apart because it's supposed to. It's called a postcard book. But lovely paper to color on. I colored that illustration and it was beautiful. I'll show it to you in a second. It's in the autumn section. Then we have a spring section. So this is all spring. It's a bit hard to flip through because it's thick cardstock, but just giving you some examples. I don't want to miss the sections. So that's all spring, I think. So you can see how beautiful the illustrations are. And then we do go into summer. This is the summer section. Look at that, so beautiful, isn't it? And they're smaller, so more possible to color. Look at that. Beautiful. She doesn't have any mermaids in any of her other books, if I'm not mistaken. So it's a slightly different sort of theme, and I love that it goes through the seasons, and I love that it's not the magical sort of aspect to it in that, you know, the third eye, and I don't mind that in her books. That is her style, that is her theme, and it's absolutely fine. But for those of you who are not into that, this compilation postcards is just stunning. Look at that. And you can use watercolor paints. I did. It's not watercolor paper though, but I think this is the autumn section. So you have a little blurb there for each section. So this is the autumn cards, and I colored in this section. Look at that. I'll just go quickly show you my page. That's the one I did with watercolors, and it worked absolutely fine, and Derwent ink 10, so that was so much fun. And then we have a winter section, so that's the winter section. Lovely, isn't it? So a little bit different to the concept in her books. Look at that. So cute. So yeah, I love this. So this is not in any order, but this is the first book I'm showing you of my top 10 favorites that were published in 2024. So Karolina Kubikowska, Memories postcard set. And it comes in a sleeve like that, so it holds it together. So even if the cards fall apart, you can still slot them in here and not be worried about losing any. All right, the next one I have is Raa Prince. So we know her most commonly as Raa Prince, but this is her name, Rehan Udechi, maybe, and that's the name of the book. It's German. All right, I got this from Blackwell's. It might be available in Amazon UK now. And this Raa Prince is on Etsy, so she's been producing coloring pages for quite a while, so PDF formats where you can just download and print and do your coloring on your favorite paper. And she also has Amazon books as well, but the illustrations in this book are absolutely stunning. Now, I hadn't got hold of any of her illustrations before, and so I was super excited when I saw that this book was coming out. Now, this is the reason why. Look at the art. Look at that. How beautiful is her way of drawing. I love her curvy lines. I've said that before. I love how peaceful her illustrations are. I like that it's you know, different themes. So you have like underwater themes, you have the botanics, you have a lot of water, you have some indoor scenes, I think, or sort of sitting scenes, illustrations like this. It's one-sided. You can use alcohol markers if you want. It's not the thickest paper, so that's one thing I would say is a negative, but I still colored a page in it and it turned out absolutely fine. And I used water on it. It didn't really crinkle. Obviously, I didn't use that much water because it was watercolor pencils I used. So I've not tried watercolor paints on it, but I think this art style would be beautiful with pens and pencils. And I just, yeah, absolutely love the pages in this book. Absolutely beautiful. And hopefully she comes out with more books. Because yes, I've always wanted to get something of hers. I didn't want them on Amazon paper, so I'm glad that this book came out. So this is Raa Prince, or Rehan Udechi, and that's the name of the book. All right, so that's the second book. All right, going on to the third book. Now this is a Page Street Publishing book, so that's the publishers. Beautiful quality that they publish in, and the artist is a new artist, Lalita Iyer, new to us in 2024, Enchanted Creatures, and it's a Zen doodle book, so not really my style usually, but I was pleasantly surprised with how enjoyable I found it coloring in this book. There are some beautiful illustrations, so it's on beautiful paper, and you get a good variety of it's basically animals, but you get a good variety. So you get birds, you get water animals, you get woodland animals, you get some with a, you know, like a autumnal theme, summery theme, like those ones. So you could color it all year round, and you get the elements of the Zen doodle aspect of it. So if we look at this elephant here, we have the ears there with the Zen doodly sort of patterns and the trunk there, but then everything else around it, the flowers, the leaves, is not Zen doodly, and that's what I like about it. I like that not the entire page is just these little tiny elements. So it's still a challenge for me because I'm not very fluent at coloring Zen doodle effects, but I like it. I like the rest of the page. Like, look at that page there. So you have your is it a fox? You have your fox there with those patterns on the tail and on the fur, but then everything else behind him or her is not Zen doodly. So I do like the mix of it. And yeah, I think I really enjoyed it. So this is the pages I did, and I absolutely loved it. So I just sort of block colored with soft pastels on the whale, and then just picked out some elements where to put some shadows in with pencil. So that's how I did that, and I really like how it turned out. And so it made me do another page, which is a color along on the channel, and that was the peacock here, and absolutely loved it again. So yes, you can produce some beautiful colorings in this page. Like this one is a little bit of Zen doodly, but you don't have to color every single element. You can block color and then just put some effects if you want, some shadows, some highlights, or some glitter gel pens, and just add in some, you know, embellishments to help sort of fill up those little Zen doodle aspects. So yeah, I really was surprised with how much I enjoyed my 2 pages in this book. So I think it definitely does make the top 10 for me. And the fact that it's in a good quality book, good quality paper, it just it adds to that enjoyment of this book. So Enchanted Creatures by Lalita Iyer. And it's always nice to try out a new artist. Then we have Hannah Carlson's Godule. Obviously, Hannah Carlson is a favorite of pretty much everyone in the coloring community, and she released this book, Merry Christmas, this year in 2024. And unfortunately, it's out of print. I don't usually get the Swedish edition, but I'm so glad I did because the paper was so beautiful to work on. It worked so well with my Tombow brush pens, and I don't know, the reason I got it in the Swedish edition this time was just because of the theme of the book, Merry Christmas. I wanted it for Christmas time, and I did not want to get it all the way next year for next Christmas when I knew that I'm going to see so many people coloring in this book, and I'll have a sense of FOMO for this book. So yeah, I'm glad I did get it, and I'm glad I've tried the Swedish edition book because I think it's beautiful. I know Dutch edition books, the paper quality is really thick, but it's not easy to get it in the UK. So, or if anyone knows where I can get it easily, let me know. But otherwise, I usually get the English editions. But yeah, I was keen on getting this in time for Christmas. I got it on imusic.co, and it was very easy to order it. It was very easy to, it came pretty quickly, and I did 3 pages in it so far. So I've done these 2, which I've just recently shown you. And there's some beautiful illustrations. You've got the small ones for people who like those small wins. You've got some simpler illustrations. You've got some busier illustrations like that, or the double page spreads like that. So it's a nice mix of pages. Yeah. And I did that one there. For those of you who like sort of repetitive elements or mandala sort of style, you have some of that. So I think it was a beautiful book, and I'm so happy I got it in time. It is out of stock, but it will be republished in 2025. So those of you who missed out in 2024, don't worry, it is coming back. So that is Godule by Hannah Carlson. Then the next one is an R.J. Hampson book. Now, I've picked this book. He's coming out with so many books, and I'm not able to keep up. I don't have all his books, but I liked this book. I like the journey it takes us on. Now, I haven't colored in this book yet, but I'm really keen to color in it. So my first book was of Mr. Fogarty, the Frog's Tale book. That's what got me started on R.J. Hampson. So when he came out with this book, I was really excited, and I love that it takes us on a journey. And I just love pretty much every illustration in this book. Yes, it's an Amazon quality book. I've got the Amazon Japan edition because my water mediums work really well on it, but you can get the hardback version. You won't get doubles, but if you're someone who likes his doubles because he does a double with a difference, then you can always get the paperback versions, which have the doubles with a difference. But look at every single illustration in this book. It's just, I want to color literally every single illustration. I don't have ideas for every single one, but I know I will enjoy every page I color in this book. And I just love that it's, yeah, taking us through all the different places. That's the Taj Mahal. It's beautiful, beautiful book. So yeah, I just really, really like that. I love that page. So yeah, that's pretty much the whole page, the whole book. Yes. And then you get doubles. So when I say, for those of you who don't know, I think everyone probably does, but because I'm actually late to the R.J. Hampson game, but those who don't know, there's doubles, and the doubles are sometimes with just a black background, or sometimes he changes certain elements on them. So for example, if I bring the train, is it any different? Yes, his clothing, so his hat and stuff is a little bit different, okay? Sometimes there's a bigger difference in the illustrations rather than just the hat. So in this one, oh, I thought there were different characters. No. I'm sure there's a lot of people who have done flip throughs and they'll show you the differences. So yeah, if you want to see the differences in detail, you can always sort of look for a flip through, and I'm sure you'll find one where they actually show you the differences in each page, because it's not always just a black background that's been added, which is good, which is why his doubles work. So if we look at this one, for example, okay, so we have, is it a stork or pelican, or I'm not sure what bird, but we have a bird there. We have an alligator or crocodile there. We have some different artifacts there. Look, yeah, we have a snake there, which we don't have there. We obviously have the night scene in the window. And then you have certain slightly different elements. For those of you, like, I don't do doubles usually, but so those of you who are like me and don't like to color doubles, it gives you a bit of a difference. So when you come to color it again, if you ever do in the future, it'll give you something different to color a little bit. But yes, I like every single page in this book, R.J. Hampson Around the World, and I want to color every page in this book eventually. So I picked this one book by R.J. Hampson. It's difficult to pick from his books because I think he's doing such an amazing job with his books. All right, then. Everyone was waiting for this book. So this is Emily Littlehall-Orberg's Fairy Tales and Folklore coloring book. Now, I have her second book, which was Fairy Tales. I never got a hold of Sagorok Sagna, which is the book that everyone was crazy about. And it came out pretty early in the years of coloring, adult coloring, when it first started, and I don't think everybody managed to get a hold of it. And Color with Claire, so Claire from Color with Claire put out a petition and managed to get enough signatures and enough attention to get this book republished. So Sagorok Sagna republished, and it's been republished as Fairy Tales and Folklore with I think 10 odd new pages added to it, but the rest of them are in Sagorok Sagna, other than I think it was a Santa. So those of you who have Sagorok Sagna, it's still a decent book to get because of the additional pages, but also just look at that. Look at how beautiful the cover is. It's the hardback. The color they've chosen for the cover, the inside pages is beautiful. The quality is amazing. It's stitch bound. And yes, her illustrations are beautiful. Now, her Fairy Tales book is not my favorite. I always looked at Sagorok Sagna and thought that I would prefer that book to Fairy Tales, but I got Fairy Tales because I couldn't get Sagorok Sagna. I do find her folk style of art a little bit difficult to color for me, but again, I think it comes down to like the lines in the elements. So, but I know I'm going to enjoy this book, but I still do struggle. Like, for example, on that flower petal, you have lots of lines on it, which I struggle with. I don't know what to do. And they're bold black lines. So sometimes I struggle in approaching her illustrations, but this book is just not one to miss. I wouldn't want to miss this. So I do prefer the illustrations to the Fairy Tales book, the one which is readily available in Amazon, or has always been readily available in Amazon. I think this book should be as well now. So yeah, if you haven't got this book, if you like her style, I would say this is definitely not a book to miss. Just the quality of it, the chunkiness of it. Look how many pages you get in this book. It's absolutely stunning. For the price that you get it for, the quality, the number of illustrations is just amazing. So definitely one to have in your collection, I would think. All right, so that is Emily Littlehall-Orberg's Fairy Tales and Folklore coloring book. Paula Brune's Faune Fragile. So this was a new book that released in 2024. You guys know that I love Paula Brune's books. Her art style is absolutely stunning. Now, this book is a little bit thinner than the first one and the second one. The second one was slightly thinner than the first one. So we're getting fewer pages, but if you look at her illustrations, it's going to give you so much coloring time. Now, again, it's by a very good publisher, Marabou, which produces beautiful books. You can hear the sound of the paper. It's really nice bright white paper. It's stitch bound, so beautiful books. And then the illustrations are just absolutely stunning. So this is, again, sort of a book like Kirby Rosan's Fragile World, where she sort of has illustrated animals that are in danger, basically. So yeah, it's a nice concept again, and I just love her florals and botanics, and even the way she draws her animals. They're just beautiful, and they're nice and big for those of you who struggle with smaller elements. A majority of her illustrations, if you look at the leaves and flowers, that's the one I did. Absolutely loved coloring it. But if you look, it's like nice large areas to color in, so it is quite easy for those of you who may struggle. But beautiful, beautiful book. I hope Paula Brun continues to illustrate books, because the books are beautiful. I don't color fast enough in them, but I'm so glad to have it in my collection. And then we have Mythographic, Fabiana Atanasios Mythographic Fairy Wonderland. I haven't colored in this yet, but it is a beautiful book. Now, you guys know how much I absolutely adore the Mythographic series, and this book is actually really beautiful. Now, it looks like Fabiana Atanasio and Joseph Kattenbang seem to be just coming out with one book a year now. When they first started, they were coming out with 2 books, sometimes 3 books, and it was very fast. But now they have slowed down. They're getting new illustrators in the Mythographic series, which I haven't yet grown a liking to, unfortunately. But so Fabiana Atanasio and Joseph Kattenbang are still my favorite. Now, even though I'm sad that they're only publishing one a year, I'm not able to keep up with them. Like I said, this one is still uncolored. I've not even done 1 page in it. And majority of my Mythographics only have 1, 2, maybe 3 pages in them, other than the very first one I bought, which was Joseph Kattenbang's Imagine. So yeah, I should be still happy that they're producing 1 a year. But this is beautiful. And there's Fantasy Forest that Fabiana Atanasio is releasing this month, or February, I think. So looking forward to seeing what she brings to that book. But this one is beautiful. So Fabiana Atanasio's Fairy Wonderland. And then we, of course, have a Joseph Kattenbang, and that is Joseph Kattenbang's Mythographic Wild Summer. I have colored 1 page in this, and this book is absolutely stunning. Again, I love Joseph Kattenbang's work. He is my favorite, absolute favorite. And if you look at these illustrations, they're just amazing. He just blows me away. I just love his illustrations. Look at that one. And that one. That one's beautiful. Everyone, look at that. They're absolutely adorable. So I love this one. Basically, this book is just, I'm so glad this one was released. It is, I always say, each book he releases is my favorite, so I'm not sure if it is my favorite. It's hard to choose amongst his books, his later books especially. And he's coming out with one this year, March, April time, Dragon Spell. So I'm interested to see what he brings, because yeah, his books never disappoint. That's the one I did. It's a color along on the channel, and yeah, there we go. So Mythographic Wild Summer by Joseph Kattenbang. And my last one for my top 10 is Clara Markova's Orchard Full of Fairies. And not everyone likes a Clara Markova. I do, because I love the quality of the books again. I love the paper. I love her illustrations, the innocence in the illustrations. And every page that I've colored in any of her books, I've really enjoyed, and the outcomes have been beautiful as well. Now, they are pricey books, yes. You can get it on Etsy, but for me, they are books I wouldn't want to miss, because I know how much enjoyment I get from it, how much happiness I get from coloring her books, and yeah, I couldn't miss out on it. And so it does make my top 10, Like, look at that page. It's absolutely adorable. I just love it. So yeah, I really do like her books. I know some people don't, but I've never been disappointed. Her first ever book was is not my favorite, and I didn't buy it straight away. I waited, but then I got it, and I've colored in it recently, and I absolutely enjoyed coloring in that book as well. So yeah, I just love it. Look at this one. Just like so much food to color, sweetness to color, basically. Yeah, so much innocence. And the characters are always happy. Beautiful. So yeah, I love this book, and for me it definitely makes the top 10. Look at that. That's one of my favorite in this book. I absolutely adore this page. I won't be coloring it yet. I have got a buddy color. Oh, and that one. Look at that. I think there were certain elements like the whale, like the otters, that she's never had in any of her books. So that was really nice to see. I think this is the page I've got picked out for a buddy color. I love this page. I love that it's a double page spread of berries. You guys know I love coloring berries, so that will be fun for me. So yeah, beautiful, beautiful book by Clara Marova, Orchard Full of Fairies. And finally, my 2 honorary mentions. So I just couldn't decide, and I couldn't leave them out of this video, because I think, in case you haven't seen them, they may be books you will like as well. So the first one is another Page Street Publishing book. So that's the publishers is Page Street Publishing, and the artist is Kate Pellerin, creator of Poopy Cat. So on Instagram, she's, I think, Poopy Cat. And you should go and check out her Instagram account, because her work, her colored versions of her work is absolutely stunning. I do not know how she picks her colors. It's just amazing. So yeah, this one is called Magical Woodland Coloring Book. And what can I say? Again, a good quality book. And these are her illustrations. And I think they look a little bit simple, but if you went and looked at her Instagram page, you will see what potential these pages have. Now, not that I can reach that potential in any way, but just seeing her colored versions of her pages, which look quite simple to tackle, is just amazing, like what she can do with her pages. So I will hopefully be getting inspiration from her style of coloring or choice of colors. I will try to see if I can sort of learn a little bit or replicate a little bit of her style. But we'll see. I might just do it my own way. It's single-sided, so those of you who like to use alcohol markers, you can, although the line art is very thin, so you'll have to try it out and make sure it's not bleeding through, like, you know, past the line art. But yeah, beautiful book. I had it picked out, I think, in the autumn season or something, and didn't get around to it, unfortunately. But that is my first honorary mention, Poopy Cat, or Kate Pellerin's Magical Woodland Coloring Book. Beautiful book. I would definitely recommend it. And then the last one to mention is from the Tokimeku series of books, the Japanese illustrated books. So the series that Wild Mouse Yururi is in. So that's Makiko Inotomi's book. So they're different artists in the series. So slightly different styles, but the quality, so the publishers are the same, the quality of the books are the same, absolutely beautiful quality books, and majority of the books are beautiful. Now I say majority because some are not really up my street. So there's one very recent one that was released. I actually can't remember the name of it, but I haven't got it because it wasn't really my style. It was too simple for me. I wanted to mention this for those of you who like the Tokimeku series. It's not my favorite book in the series, but it's still a very adorable book. And so I thought I'd show it to you guys. So it's about plush toys, about a boy who gets a plush toy for his birthday. And it sort of goes through that. And so you get a lot of, well, actually there's a good mix of scenes. I was going to say, you know, interior scenes, but there's a lot of food. There's some dreamy scenes like this one. And then you have the outdoor scenes as well, so that is really nice. I love the little pages like this. where you have the sort of small elements it doesn't really make up. And I love that they have so much food on this in this book. So we have like a cake there, but I think there's another page I'll be able to show you, a nice page with berries. This picnic scene with food, it's beautiful. Bird's eye view sort of a page. So I think this is absolutely adorable. Yes, not my favorite, but it's going to be so lovely to color. I know I'm going to enjoy myself. You get so many different elements as well to color. Like there was just those glass bottles, and then obviously the plush animals, so you don't have to make them look realistic, so you don't need to do fur, so that will be brilliant as well. I don't know where the food scene went. That bubble bath looks so fun. That'll be so fun to color. This food, double page spread of food as well. So you have what, macaroons, you've got some sort of a cake, cheese, another kind of cake or something, salad, like a fruit salad, cupcakes, so you can make it really colorful. Some indoor sort of scenes like these. I love this spread as well. And you can download the PDF version. They give you some information in the beginning of the book where you can download the PDF version of this book and the colored version, so you can get some inspiration. And you have some inspiration illustrations. I forgot about that as well. Look at that. So you can get some inspiration if you want to color it this way, this sort of style, you can, or you can do it your own way. Knowing me, I'll probably end up trying to do something like this, but it'll end up looking like my regular style. But that book I could not leave out as well. I hope you guys agree. So that is my top 10 plus 2 favorite books of 2024 that I'm glad I have in my collection, that I bought. I'm glad I have in my collection. And I think you should try not to miss out on if any of them are your style. But yes, I would struggle to pick a top 10 in my entire collection, guys. So I'm glad I just did it for those released in 2024. I don't think I could have done it for my entire collection. So hopefully you guys enjoyed this video, and I will be back with you guys again soon. Let me know what your favorites are actually in the comments below. Let me know maybe at least 3 of your favorites from 2024, if not 10. It'll be really interesting to see if anyone's tastes matches mine. So yeah, let me know, not necessarily from the list I have shown you, but what are your favorite top 3 books from 2024? All right, guys, I'll leave you with that, and I'll be back with you again soon. Take care, and thank you for watching.